An update on a case that shocked all of us. Mahogany Jackson, a young Birmingham woman who was tortured earlier this year, some of the abuse even recorded. Well, tonight, charges on 5 suspects in this case have been upgraded to capital murder.
Now, all 8 suspects in this case are facing capital murder charges, and that's something Mahogany Jackson's mom tells me they deserve, and that she will be there every step of the way to make sure justice is served for her daughter. Court records show 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson was kidnapped and brutally murdered, while many of the suspects participated and recorded the attacks for over 24 hours.
I'll get sad thinking about, how much life she still had ahead of her. That's gone. There's nothing that I can do to fix what happened to my daughter.
Mahogany did reach out to family, calling them for help during the abuse. Now her family is still struggling because they couldn't help her.
I'm never gonna see my daughter again. That's not right.
Even with upgraded charges, Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr says this will still be a long road to justice.
It was a text message sent in secret from a young mother held captive. It read, "Send the police to apartment 3. Held hostage, don't call." This was a single, terrifying plea for help that launched a frantic, desperate search. But how do you save someone from a threat you can't see, or a danger that hides behind a familiar face? Have you ever trusted someone only to feel a knot of dread in your gut? What happens when a misplaced trust becomes a lethal trap? This is the story of Mahogany Jackson, a devoted mother of a 3-year-old girl who tried to get her life in order, but only to be betrayed by the very people she knew and trusted as close friends. We're about to follow a race against time, on a heartbreaking search that exposes a vicious plot and an unbelievable act of cruelty. But before we dive into this profound and difficult story, please kindly take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Also, we would love to know where you all are watching from. Remember, your support helps us shed light on these critical cases and seek justice for those who can no longer speak.
One thing you'll never see a like me doing is arguing with one of you hoes. Cause you wanna know why? I don't know how to argue. I'm gonna run out of shit to say. Soon as I stutter, I'm gonna smacking the shit at you. Cause how I don't know what to say. You got me stuttering, hoe, and now I'm finna smack the at you cause you got me looking dumb.
Mahogany Jackson was just 20 years old and a young mother with a world of hope for her 3-year-old daughter, Nydia. To her family, she was a beacon of warmth and generosity, full of life, with a heart of gold. Born into a large family in Jasper, Alabama, Mahogany had dedicated her life to building a stable future for her little girl. She styled Nydia's hair every day, enrolled in cosmetology school, and told her family she was ready to get her life in order. Her plan was to find a good job and, most importantly, distance herself from a crowd of acquaintances that her family now believes betrayed her trust. But no matter how hard she tried to move forward, no matter the steps she took, Mahogany remained connected to this group.
Okay, yeah. So if y'all see a little nipple, maybe. Okay. I just want to start this off with a review, and I really don't review shit. So here we go.
On February 24th, 2024, she was lured to an apartment in Birmingham's Powderly neighborhood by someone she considered as a close, trusted friend. The pretext was simple, a moment of friendship, but the real motive was far more sinister. According to later court records, a dispute had started over a stolen handgun. When Mahogany arrived, demanding what she believed was hers, a man told another, saying, "Do something to her." Then the door closed behind her. The apartment, a place of supposed familiarity and friendship, became a prison. Now, here's a clip of the tragic scenario she was into before her demise came into play on that fateful day. What happened next was an act of sustained cruelty. For hours inside that apartment, Mahogany Jackson was subjected to a brutal, dehumanizing assault. Prosecutors later described it as a scene of unimaginable violence, with Mahogany beaten, spat on, kicked, and punched. One witness even testified that an attacker struck her in the head with a baseball bat. Stripped of her clothing and handcuffed, she was forced between different rooms and vehicles, while multiple people pointed guns at her. At no point was she free to leave. This wasn't a spontaneous act. The attack had a twisted motive. The group believed Mahogany had taken a gun from one of them. Lately, they had already taken the gun and some cash from her purse. This was pure, targeted cruelty. They beat her. No, they didn't just beat her. They also brutalized her. This heinous assault was also recorded, with parts of her agony shared online by her tormentors. The videos, later reviewed by police, became a key piece of evidence in their case. You can imagine the level of betrayal and terror she must have felt. Did you catch that?
Suspects accused of taunting and torturing a young mother before killing her were in court today. Birmingham police say the suspects in Mahogany Jackson's murder posted videos of the crime on social media. Your reporter Bria Chapman is live and on your side. After talking with Jackson's mother and the district attorney, this is just a heartbreaking case.
Yeah, Morgan, that is right. It's actually almost been a year since Mahogany Jackson's body was found at a dumping site on the west side of Birmingham. Her mother telling me today, though, even though it's almost been a year, it hasn't gotten any easier, and her main focus is getting justice for her child. And the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office tells me that is their goal as well. DA Danny Carr says this case has moved pretty quickly through the justice system, from the police and federal agents investigating until today's pretrial hearing. But he adds there is more work to be done. Now today, Judge Keisha Davis gave the state an opportunity to offer each suspect a plea deal, but the death penalty remains on the table for all of those suspects. Now one defendant, Jeremiah McDowell, his attorney spoke to us stating that his client is ready for the case to move forward. And Jackson's mom says despite how hard today is, she plans to be there every step of the way.
It's rough. Every time I come here, I have a horrible night before, and I'm going to have a horrible day when I leave here today. But every time I'm going to be here.
He's anxious to get his case in front of a jury so that he can get out of jail and exonerate himself. Like I said, he's innocent, and we expect to prove that in front of the jury.
Stuff is basically whether or not the state has an offer relative to settling the case, meaning a plea offer. Obviously, at this time, we relayed to the judge that we didn't have a plea offer. And we're not at that point yet. And we also notified the court that we filed a notice to seek the death penalty on each defendant as well.
The videos, parts of her agony, were a key piece of evidence. Remember that detail for later. Held captive, surrounded by people she knew, her courage emerged in the face of despair. In the early hours of Sunday morning, she was able to seek help. Mahogany, risking everything, found a way to send a message, a silent scream for help, a single text that read, "Send the police to apartment 3, held hostage, don't call." Mahogany's text message, sent from her captor's phone, even including the apartment address, was a frantic, desperate plea that set off an urgent search. Her family, her sister, and a cousin immediately knew the danger she was in. They didn't hesitate. They called the Birmingham police, sharing the precise location. A missing person alert was issued within hours of the message. The clock was ticking. Birmingham police moved with urgency. Before 11 a.m. that Sunday morning, officers rushed to the apartment complex, spoke to witnesses, and searched the building. Hope, a fragile and desperate thing, surged through her family. Maybe, just maybe, they would be on time. But that hope was a mirage. Mahogany was gone. By the time police arrived, she had already been moved from the apartment. Now the search continued, but the trail was cold. The window of opportunity had closed, and the silence that followed was a growing terror for all who loved her. Welcome to Theories of True Crime Stories. Kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss our future posts on any of our latest true crime stories. Just after 2 a.m. on Monday, February 26th, a passerby discovered Mahogany's body on the side of a street. Her life, once full of promise and dreams, had been extinguished. The location, an illegal dump site, was miles from the apartment where she was held captive. Investigators noted the manner of her death, with a single gunshot to the back of the head. Her abduction had ended in execution. Birmingham detectives worked with incredible speed. With the help of community tips and the video evidence, they began to close in on the perpetrators. Within days, 7 people were in custody. A final suspect was arrested on March 1st. In a shocking press conference, police announced that all 8 suspects were known to Mahogany. They were not strangers.
And now to a breaking news update. 7 of the 8 people charged in the killing and kidnapping of Mahogany Jackson were in a Jefferson County courtroom today. In February of 2024, Jackson was tortured, raped, and murdered. Now, several pre-trial motions were heard as prosecutors prepared to take the first cases to trial.
Muriel, today's hearings focused mostly on legal motions for nearly all of the defendants in the capital murder case involving Mahogany Jackson. Now, a judge made it clear that she plans to move forward with the process, and we learned that the state plans to seek the death penalty in all of the 7 cases that were presented today. Now, Blair Green was ruled competent to stand trial though a second mental evaluation is underway due to his refusal of one portion of the mental evaluation prior. Now, defense attorneys for McCall sought to block graphic autopsy photos, and limited media contact was ordered. Both Ariana Robinson and Brandon Pope requested bond today, but Judge Davis denied both motions, citing capital murder charges.
The group, 4 men and 4 women, ranging in age from 18 to 26, faced a litany of charges. The police chief himself called the assault deplorable and sickening, noting that the vile acts were recorded and shared by the attackers themselves. This heinous crime, this act of extreme cruelty, was not committed by one person, but by a whole group. How could 7 individuals participate in such an act, and an 8th fire the fatal shot? What kind of group would show that level of disregard for human life? If this story has moved you, kindly share it with others. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on how a group could commit such an act. Your engagement helps ensure this story gets the attention it deserves. All 8 of her attackers, her acquaintances, were under arrest. But this was only the beginning of a long journey towards justice. In the days and weeks that followed, Birmingham prosecutors worked to build their case. The initial charges, capital murder for the men, felony murder for the women, were just the start. By the fall of 2024, a Jefferson County grand jury had upgraded all 8 defendants to capital murder, reflecting the premeditated and torturous nature of the crime. In a courtroom in late 2024, the state made a powerful statement, saying they would seek the death penalty against all 8. District Attorney Danny Carr said the killers showed Mahogany no mercy during her final hours. This was not a punishment for a single crime, but for a heinous, atrocious, or cruel act committed by a group. All 8 defendants, when arraigned, pleaded not guilty. The trial is now set, but as the district attorney cautioned her grieving family, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The judge has indicated that trials may be held separately, given the complex and graphic evidence against each defendant. The path to justice will be a long and difficult one, but for the family of Mahogany Jackson, the fight has just begun. Mahogany Jackson's murder shocked her community. On anniversaries, her family now releases pink balloons, choosing to celebrate her life, not the brutality of her death. Her mother, Gail Shearer, has been a tireless advocate, insisting that people remember who Mahogany was. A generous, devoted mother with the biggest heart, and not just what happened to her. Today, Mahogany's daughter, Nydia, is 4 years old and being raised by her grandmother and other family members. Her mother still struggles with the profound loss, knowing she will one day have to explain to Nydia that her mommy is now an angel. This story is a heartbreaking reminder that some of the greatest dangers we face can come from within our own circles of trust. The case remains active, with prosecutors building toward trial. But the legacy of Mahogany Jackson, a young woman with so much life to live, is not one of violence. It is one of a mother's love, a community's resilience, and a family's relentless quest for justice. If this story has resonated with you all along since we started narrating it, please kindly take a moment to subscribe to our channel. By following these cases, we can help ensure that the victims are not forgotten and that the quest for justice continues. So, until next time, you all out there should stay safe and stay vigilant. Thanks for watching, and see you on our next story.